There are good deals and there are great deals. And AT&T has a deal that blows past great and goes straight to awesome. Because you can get a free 8-inch Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 when you buy any Samsung Galaxy smartphone for $0 down on AT&T Next. That's one great deal on 2 incredible Samsung devices you can use for streaming movies, keeping up with friends, email, social networks, you name it. So come in now and get a free 8-inch Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 when you buy any Samsung Galaxy smartphone for $0 down at AT&T. Mobilizing your world. AT&T reminds you to never text and drive. It can wait.
Right now, switch to AT&T and get a $100 bill credit when you buy a smartphone for $0 down with AT&T Next.
Samsung bundle also requires buying tablet with 2-year agreement and activating wireless service on both devices. For bill credit, must port number, activate qualified service, and stay in good standing. Credit in 3 months. Well-qualified credit required. Other charges and restrictions apply. See participating store for details.
Good morning. Welcome to Dinar Intel's Magellan Show. It is a Wednesday, March the 11th, 2015. It is 11:01 a.m. on the East Coast, 10:01 a.m. Central Time. We want to welcome you to our program today, all of you that are listening to our broadcast, coast to coast and around the world. We appreciate it. And I want to let you know that if you want to call in and listen by way of the switchboard, our number is 646-929-0709. I'll give that to you one more time. 646-929-0709, if you'd like to listen in that way. I will be announcing the playback number that you can listen into. I'll announce it at the end of this broadcast, so don't go anywhere. We're going to have a little bit shorter program today just because I am going to be following the case with the Stanley family. For those of you that may not be familiar with this case, you can certainly go to the Facebook page, hashtag Standing with the Stanleys, to learn more. And it'll get you up to date on what's going on. But basically, in a nutshell, what happened was that there were 7 children that were taken away from their parents for no just cause, no real legal reason. The allegations and even the warrant to take these. To go and search this family's home and to ultimately take these kids was over a water purification system. And since then, these children have been in state custody for 2 months. And so there's been an outpouring of support from all over the world, people from as far away as Australia to Germany to Canada and all over the United States have just joined in talking about this. And so the prayer is and the hope is that today at this special motion hearing that the children would be returned to their parents. We're going to watch it. We're going to see what happens. Very, very incredible situation, to say the least. But this is Dinar Intel's Magellan Show, and if you want to follow us on social media, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter at Dinar Intel. You can also email us, contact@dinarintel.com. As we are going out to dinarintel.com, we want to thank iqdcalls.com for posting our programs on the Magellan page over there, and we do appreciate that. Don't forget we're on iTunes if you want to download our podcast there as well. Some of our top stories for today on this 11th day of March, 2015. Well, a lot of stories making headlines, that's for sure, so let's get right down to it. Parliament Speaker Salim Jabari says 1 million Iraqis effectively held hostage by ISIL in Anbar, Nineveh province. Jane Arafa just tweeted this a few hours ago. Obviously, very distressing developments in Iraq as far as the citizens there and how they are being affected by the Islamic State. As I said in yesterday's broadcast, I feel, and I do believe, and I'm not alone in this sentiment, that what is happening in Iraq, though it is disturbing, and not just in Iraq but other places too in the region, though it is disturbing, is almost causing events to transpire at such a rapid rate that we might very well see turnaround in every area quicker than we first thought. And you say, well, how is that possible when things are so bad? Well, sometimes when things get bad enough, that's when you take appropriate action. And what we are finding is that there is a strong counterinsurgency over there, a strong one, not just from the United States, but from other allies, even allies that you would not expect. We were talking about even Iran. Now, that's going to be at a very expensive price, and we'll be talking more about that, I am sure, in future broadcasts. But having said that, though, I do believe that will cause peace again in Iraq, and part of that, again, is through the intervention of Iran, because Iran does not want the Islamic State to succeed. They want to succeed. Now, of course, Iran has their own set of radical beliefs and ideologies, but we'll be dealing with that later, I'm sure, on a global level. But part of the reason why Iran, I think, is wanting to appease the United States in this initiative is for two reasons. Well, number one, they want to see ISIS destroyed because they want to be the big dog. But the other part of it is that they want to secure some type of an arrangement or understanding between the United States so that these sanctions can be lifted. It's very interesting, so we'll be watching it. Shirstani says that in order to defeat, he says defeat for ISIS is certain, but this is the lesser battle, and the greater battle will be to unify Iraq. Those are his words. I tend to agree. At the same time, I think that even though there have been a lot of tensions between the various regions of Iraq, from Kurdistan to the central government, I know that has been the case. I believe that once all this is over and done with, Iraqis from all points of the country, north, south, east, west, are going to just be thankful that they have once again experienced security and peace and safety and you know, well, that almost sounds biblical, peace and safety there. Well, it does in the prophetic sense, but I think they're going to be so glad that the country is back to where it should be, that perhaps these tribal and ethnic struggles will just subside and dissipate. That's our hope. That's your hope. Moving on now, most reports of Iraq security forces activity in Tikrit this morning are just about 500 meters northwest of downtown area. And some reports we're getting, well, this is according to Reuters now, Iraqi troops and militias drive Islamic State insurgents out of town of North Tikrit. So it looks like that's back in the hands. Some of these are very strategic cities. They were very strategic cities even during the Iraq War. When you hear about areas like Tikrit and Mosul and so on and so forth, important areas. Now, thankfully, Basra, which is the economic center, not the capital, but the economic center of Iraq, is in a secure position right now. As a matter of fact, we still have flights going in and out of Basra, but not other parts of Iraq. Some airlines at least have suspended their flights in and out of other areas of Iraq. There's still some that are going in, but Basra hasn't seen any interruptions at this point. There's been a lot of success. At the same time, Iraqi forces raided ISIS prison in the Hamrin Mountains, freeing 34 civilians. This, according to Al Farat news agency, just happened actually today. Kurdish leaders promised to fulfill the oil agreement with Baghdad, and it appears that they will have success in this, according to Prime Minister Dr. Haider al-Abadi. Abadi has done a good job, I believe. It's just that, given these circumstances, any leader would possibly face criticism. But in this kind of battle that we're facing, pretty good job. And we will see him excel more even after all this has blown over. I feel pretty confident in that. Another story, rather disturbing one, that we reported on yesterday's program, talking about this battle with the Islamic State. Chinese authorities say Muslim Uyghurs, if I'm pronouncing it right, basically a certain faction of Chinese, which make up an extremely small minority within China. They're a Muslim faction within the country, Chinese Muslims. They have joined ISIS, and they've done so in Syria. This is why I'm saying that Syria has truly been, even though ISIS is more of a movement and an ideology that transcends country, still, though, Syria seems to be kind of the area where there's a concentration, we are seeing activity and we're seeing recruitment from all over the world, from the United States, and now we're getting reports even from China, which is not known for a large Muslim population. They're known to be predominantly Buddhist, but there is a small minority of them that are joining this fight. So this is a big battle. This is a huge battle. In that same line of thinking, Secretary of State John Kerry has said that there must be no geographic limitation on the use of force against ISIS. It must not be limited to Iraq and Syria. Now, while I agree with the Secretary of State on that point, I do find something very disturbing by his statement, and that is that this is swelling into a global conflict. See, we've had some people that have been following the Iraqi Dinar, and they've been concerned about this whole uprising in Iraq and how it would affect the dinar. But you have to remember that this is truly a global battle, even though much of it is being fought in the Middle East. I don't think we need to be overly in fear over the events that are transpiring in Iraq, even though what is happening in Iraq is disturbing, and we pray for those people there as well. If anything, the dinar has strengthened. And we learned, and we have learned this week, that there's even becoming more of a struggle just to get Iraqi dinars out of Iraq and into other parts of the globe, especially in Western countries. Now, Jordan is still able to get Iraqi dinars here, but there are some legal restrictions on sending them directly from Iraq, and Iraqis that normally would take dinars and sell them, exchange them in Jordan, well, they're concerned about traveling to those areas because there's been so many kidnappings and things happen along the way. So a number of events unfolding right now. I want to take a moment before we transition into some other news. I want to take a moment to look at the markets right now. Central Bank of Iraq indicator rates for today, this 11th day of March 2015, 11.66 to the U.S. dollar, 12.52 to the European euro, 17.54 to the British pound, and 9.22 to the Canadian dollar. Also, looking at Bitcoin, took a little bit of a move to the upside, continue to do so, not to where it was a year ago, but certainly has improved from where it was even just a few days ago, a few points. So it's $2.95, so one Bitcoin is now going to cost it $295 US. Precious metals, courtesy of Monex.com. Want to see where the metals markets are currently trading at today. They're all over the place. It seems up, down, up, down, up, down. So we're going to wait for that, waiting for a quote on the metals markets. A little bit of delay there. Tell you what, we may come back to metals markets here in just a little bit. That's what we'll do. Let's talk about a couple other things right now. I want to get to a couple of our sponsors. We want to say thanks to BuyIraqiDinarCurrency.com as well as CashForDinars.com, their other website, for their support of this segment of Dinar Intel's Magellan Show. If you are in a position to acquire more Iraqi dinars right now, you're financially secure and able to do that, then give them a call at 1-888-224-0744. BuyIraqiDinarCurrency.com at 1-888-224-0744. Now, let's say that you're not in a position to buy 1 million dinars or 5 million dinars right now, even though you'd like to. You can buy a lesser amount, of course. But maybe you just want to get something locked in, just in case something happens. I want to tell you about their layaway program. It's an excellent program, very fair, and I'm going to explain it to you now. If you contact BuyIraqiDinarCurrency.com or call them at 888-224-0744, here's what they will do for you. You can reserve 10 million Iraqi dinars at today's rate. So if you were to contact them today at on the 11th and say, hey, I want to lock these 10 million Iraqi dinars for the next 90 days. $249 US is what it takes to do that. That locks you in, and you get a legal contract, a legally binding contract, which means, let me explain this to you, which means that if there were to be a move on the dinar between now and the next 90 days, BuyIraqiDinarCurrency.com is obliged to adhere to that agreement and to sell you those dinars at the rate that the dinars are on day that you made the layaway arrangement. So based on today's rate, that's what it would be. So even if there is a move to the upside 54 days from now, you would be locked in. 249 does that for you. Now, they have one other program. If you want to do it on a 30-day scenario, a little less time, I know, but the price is less, $99. Still, though, for a 10 million dinar arrangement. 1-888-224-0744. And if you have any further questions, just say, hey, I was listening to this on the Magellan Show, and I'd like to learn more. Also, for those of you that, if you are in a financial hardship right now and you need to take a little bit off the table, they have a very generous buyback program if you need to do that at cashfordinars.com. $950 per million is what they pay at 888-588-1441. And they'll treat you right. Getting back into the news right now, we want to go over a few more stories making headlines, that's for sure. Paul Joseph Watson tweeted just a little bit earlier. This is something that he was just posting here. Some comments from Kentucky Senator and presidential hopeful Dr. Rand Paul, Senator Rand Paul, saying the Clintons think they are above the law. And what he's referring to is this email situation with Hillary Clinton. Senator Rand Paul has called for an independent investigation into Hillary Clinton's email scandal during the Clinton charging that the Clintons think they are above the law. And you can check out this article by going to dinarintel.com or going straight to our Twitter feed to learn more. But he says, I don't think the Clintons should be above the law, said Senator Paul during an appearance on the Kelly File on Fox News, adding that Hillary's excuse that she was using a personal account for convenience shouldn't trump national security. Later in the interview, Paul charged that Clinton operated out of arrogance in thinking that some of these laws apply to lower people and not to me, Hillary Clinton. Nobody should be above the law in our land. Yeah, and the whole idea is, I didn't know, or it was convenient. If you're pulled over by a cop because you're breaking the speed limit, and you say, well, it was just more convenient for me to break the speed limit because I had to get to a destination on time, or I just didn't know that was what the speed limit was. Well, chances are you're probably going to get a ticket anyway. Now, the former Secretary of State appeared at a hastily arranged press conference yesterday, during which she repeated claims that none of the roughly 30,000 emails that were deleted were from her personal email account were not official business. So all these emails that were deleted from her personal account were not official business. But how are we to decipher and know the difference? Because she's operating all of these emails from her personal account, and so it's a big situation, a big buzz in the news right now. And you can check the rest of the article, check it out by going to dinarintel.com and learning more. Okay, also, this is kind of a troubling story here. We've heard a little bit about the HPV vaccine for young girls in public schools and the controversy surrounding that. Well, school secretly vaccinates teen girl without consent of parents. This is a big story. Multiple immunizations administered to a 16-year-old girl, including HPV vaccine, which some have suggested could cause a lot of issues, including potential sterilization. But it's just causing just a real strong reaction. And a mom in Chicago is furious after her daughter received these. Michelle Miller says she believes, this is the mother, believed that she signed a form that gave her 16-year-old's daughter school permission to conduct nothing more than a routine sports physical. A physical to see, are you healthy enough to play certain sports? Not to get multiple vaccines. What have we come to? Anyways, check out this article as well, dinarintel.com. I make these articles available to you. I provide them on our Twitter feed, on our website, so that you will be informed, so that you will know what is happening, not only in the Middle East and Iraq and all that's going on over there, but also news that affects us all, even here in the United States and in the West, issues pertaining to our civil liberties and our rights as citizens of the United States. Second Amendment activists force ATF to shelf Obama ammo ban. You can read more about that. Also, U.S. to send more drones and Humvees to Ukraine. It's heating up over there. There's a Fox analyst. This is one Fox analyst said, "Just start killing the Russians to save Ukraine." A very surprising comments. RT America is reporting this. There's a video you can watch on that as well. There's also more on DinarIntel.com pertaining to the Hillary Clinton email scandal as well. It's a report you may want to check out and learn more about. The times in which we are living in. Let me tell you, it's incredible. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. If you happen to have some 50 dinar notes, now a lot of you don't have those, but if you do, you need to know, and I'm announcing it to you today, again, because I want you to know that if you have a 50 dinar note, you need to make some decisions right now, because time is running out to exchange them, because they're about to no longer be legal tender. In the nation of Iraq, they're collecting those, converting them to digital. Because remember what I told you, Iraq is moving to more of a cashless digital society. Our politicians have said this for a number of years. So that's just what's happening. How does that affect those of us that do not live in Iraq? What do you do? Well, that's why I want to talk about this right now. Here's what you do. Because Exchange for America is working out, that's the parent company for DinarInc.com. They're working out an arrangement to take back your 50 dinar notes, and it's a very generous arrangement and a goodwill arrangement. What they'll do is they'll exchange those for other IQD denominations, other dinar denominations. But you have until the 1st of April to do that. That's the deadline. Once that deadline has passed, then there's nothing more you can do. So you need to contact Dinar Inc. if you want to do an exchange, and look at your inventory and see if you have some. Because once that date has passed, again, it has passed. Contact them, and you can go to DinarInc.com, and you can learn more as to what you need to do. They've got a link on their website that will tell you everything that you need to do, where it refers to the 50 dinar note recall. DinarInc.com. Also, their number is 1-888-800-1977. 1-888-800-1977. If you live outside the United States, because they're making this available to anybody, this goodwill arrangement. Outside the United States, it's 001-772-283-5152. DinarInc.com. Check out their website. They'll get you up to date on everything. Please do that. That way, you'll not lose out that way if you happen to have 50 dinar notes. Yesterday I was talking about another speculative currency other than the dinar. Now, the dinar is the main event. It is the centerpiece, and there's so many reasons why I could say that, because Iraq is a growing country. It will continue to grow amid all of the strife. It's going to continue growing, and the fundamentals of the Iraqi currency are strong. But sometimes it is interesting to speculate on a few different currencies. Some people have speculated on a side, kind of on the sidelines, with the Vietnamese dong. I've not chosen to do that. Some have, but I have taken just a quick look at the Zimbabwe currency. Now, I want to say this very clearly, that this currency is in the process, or on the verge of demonetization because of hyperinflation, etc. But as a collectible, and I emphasize that, as a collectible, we have seen that it has gotten some attention. And over the last year and a half or so, we've seen some appreciation in its collectability. It has gone up some 8 times in price as far as its collectability. You were able to pick up 100 trillion uncirculated Zimbabwe dollars for about $4 or $5. Now it's going to cost you like $41. But if you want to go to zimking.com, Z-I-M, M as in Mary, zimking.com, you can say, hey, I want to just check it out. That's what I did. I just said, hey, I just want to grab just a couple of these, just to say that I've got some. Not, it's not something that you want to just like go crazy on, but something to at least consider. And it all depends on your financial situation anyway. But they have made arrangement. If you do check out, mention Magellan, and they'll give you a 5% discount. So you're already making money, because the market is at this point is having them at around $41 for the 100 trillion note. So you get the 5% off, you're already ahead, at least for right now. So something to check out. Again, highly speculative, but just something to consider. Zimking.com, ZIMKING.com. Okay, so where are we at right now? I want to really begin to kind of wrap things up here. We appreciate your listening to our program. A scripture I want to read from Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. That should give us a lot of assurance today on whatever it is that we're dealing with or facing. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. Powerful words, as always, from the Word of Almighty God. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a quote from Monix for gold pricing. We may have to post that later on our social media. See where that's at. Our playback number, as promised, I would announce that, 712-775-7039. That will be available to our next program starts, which we won't be broadcasting again until this Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for Inspiration Sunday, so don't miss that. But again, 712-775-7039. The access code is 327-756#. Again, that's 327-756#. So we appreciate your listening. God bless all of you. See you here this Sunday. I welcome you. I encourage you to come. And I will say, you will be blessed. Come and join us this Sunday, Inspiration Sunday. Be a part of what we're doing. Until then, have a great day. God bless all of you. This is Magellan. Bye-bye for now.